So, hello and good morning, and welcome to another build video for my Ballstring Darkness healer build for the Nightblade and the Necromancer. I'll start with the skilling for the Nightblade and then I'll work my way up to the Necromancer. At the moment usually I'm on my Nightblade, but at the moment I'm healing on my Necromancer, and I have not regretted it. The heals on Necromancer are effing awesome. So anyway, set-wise, because that's what you guys want to know, I use 5-piece transmutation on jewelry and on our weapons. Basically what we use is Swanboard and the Restoration Staff. Use Impenetrable Shield if possible, and a precise weapons. As I said, we use either Bogdan of the Nightflame set from Elden Hollow 2, Veteran, or you can use Bloodspawn, which I would probably recommend more, just because you get more barriers, especially as a Necromancer. I don't know, you get more barriers, you get more results, and that's to enhance the already stupidly high ultimate regen from the Nightblade and Necromancer. So yeah, probably more Bloodspawn. Bloodspawn is in Spittle Clutch 2, if I remember correctly. On our main set, we use Gossamer, which you can get in the Cradle of Shadows. Cradle of Shadows is in Dishan, somewhere in the middle. It is a awesome set. It gives you Magicka recovery and 2 times max Magicka, and when you heal yourself or an ally, you give them Major Evasion, which is 25% less AoE damage. This is massive. This is like 14k effective resistances against an area of effect attacks. You'll see it in the clip later when our group's getting pressured. And yeah, on the jewelry, Arcane, 1 cost reduction and 2 times Magicka recovery. Our attribute points, we put all of them into Magicka. We are a vampire, stage 4, and we use the Mondestone of the Thief. My favorite push with this setup, the crit rating is quite nice. A crit rating goes between 57 to 60%. On the Necromancer, with our crit passive active on the Necromancer, it'll go up to like 77, 78% crit. It's like a passive that when people are low health, that your healing abilities crit more. So yeah, anyway, the push, this is like a food I like using, the Aratarum Pickled Fishball. You can get it from Aratarum. You have to fish for the recipe, and you need climb gold to use it. That's the only downside. Otherwise, it's a really nice food. If you don't want to basically be boring, you can also always take the normal max Magicka food. The potions that I like using are of course, yeah, if you have proper sustain, you can also use the Clockwork Citrus Fillet. They'll have less max health, so watch out. The potions I like using are these ones. They give you a CC immunity, Major Prophecy, which makes my heals stronger, because heals are better when crit rating is more important for heals than spell damages, unlike for DPS, I think. And spell power potions, and even the protection potions are very handy when you're taking a ton of pressure. So, champion points. I'll go through all the different trees and explain a bit why I'll do it. There we are. I'll start at the steed. Yeah, we use 81 on the Ironclad. This is to reduce the damage you take from burst attacks. Pretty much everyone uses burst this patch. There aren't a lot of dot builds around lately. We have 39 points under resistance to increase our critical resistance. We are using transportation, so we don't put a lot of points into there. With this, my crit rating is at around 3.6k. So yeah, we should not have any problems getting critted hard. So yeah, on to the right. We use 49 on the Hardy and 49 on the Elemental Defender. This is to again reduce the damage we take from generally all the general attacks: Flame, Frost, Shock, Poison, Disease, physical damage. We all even put a few points under the Thick-Skinned. As a Necromancer, we already have a nice passive against it, but you know, having 30% less dot damage taken, that is quite nice. We put 15 points on the Quick Recovery to increase the healing we take. Then in the green tree, we put 56 points on the Warlord to reduce the cost of break free, because you'll see later in the video you will get stunned on cooldown. There are so many snare and CC bots out there right now. We put 3 points on the Sprinter and 1 point on the Sifner. That's basically to reduce the cost of fringing a bit. The sprint cost already gets reduced by our light armor passes, so we don't need to put a lot of points into there. And you heard it right, yes, this is a light armor healer build. I do not like healing in heavy armor, it makes my heals poo-poo. So yeah, anyway, we put 64 points on the Arcanists, 56 on the Tenacity, to get the Windrunning passive and bolster our own sustain a bit. This will put, yeah, like the buffs or bonuses around, they are 13 and 12%. And every time you sprint from the wind runner, you'll get 10% extra health and magical recovery, and your speed is increased by 2%. Doesn't sound much, but you do feel it. Then you put 56 points under tumbling and 34 points under shadow ward to reduce the cost of dodging and blocking a bit. In the blue tree, we put 100 on the blessed and elfborn. And the rest points we put in the damage a bit, because we do use either funnel health or the spec bow for kind of like, well, the funnel health is more like a hot, but the merciless resolve is more like an emergency burst heal / get the F away from me kind of like thing. What you can do is if you think you need more tankiness and less sustain, because you're as a Nightblade you already have pretty good recovery values, you can take off the leeching strikes. You don't really need them, honestly. You can heavy attack if you want to, and you have a quite massive health pool, magical pool. As you can see, the magic recovery without any buff is 2.5k. And that's with the cost reduction glyph, so that means if you have a PvP buff, your magical recovery will be at 2.7, 2.8k. The abilities are very, very cheap because you have a golden cost reduction glyph on this. You should be fine, honestly. Anyway, that's how we have put 49 on the elemental, the damage thingy, and the rest under penetration. Just to make that our spec bow or funnel health does a bit more damage and heals for more, because the healing of those two abilities scale off the damage output. As an ultimate, you use the on the second spot we have first we have the healing springs, illustrious healing. The second is a flex spot. You can put anything in there you want. I like having the radiating regeneration in there. Energy orb is also an option if you want to boost your group damage. You can also use the lotus fan. That's really just even blood altar if you're into stationary fights. Blood altar is handy. Then as the next ability we have the refreshing path. It's a heal. It's like as the name states, it's like a path in front of you. The healing value is around like the same like healing springs. I like stacking them on top of each other. It's like that, the refreshing path, and then healing springs right on top of it. Even PvP will have like a 3-4k healing over time that way. Very, very nice. Then we have combat prayer, just to give the group the minor berserk damage buffs, especially when the group is doing like a alt dump. That's when you make sure to smack them with the combat prayer to give their ultimates a bit more oomph. And then on the last ability we use funnel health. This is basically just to bump up our heals, and if there's an annoying ad on you sorry, if there's an annoying ad on you, you'll actually be able to kill them that way. The second spot, you can also swap things around. You can put the Lotus Fan on the back bar and the Healthy Offering on the front bar. That's just a matter of taste. The Healthy Offering is our main burst heal. It heals quite nicely. I mean, PvP, I've never had problems healing people up, even as a Nightblade. So yeah, as an ultimate, we use the Soul Siphon on the front bar. It is probably the strongest healing ult in the game at the moment. Just because that major vitality which you get on top of it is just so strong, and the radius is also ridiculous. 28 meters, has a very short cast time. Tooltip is around, well, once you cut in the major vitality, the tooltip is probably around 40k, so 40-50k in 4 seconds, which is massive. It's like an instant full heal, even in PvP. So yeah, on the back bar we use Efficient Purge. Then you have the flex spot. Like I said, you can also put your Lotus Fan on that one and put the heal on the front bar, because on the back bar we can always heal ourselves with the dark cloak. So yeah, that'll look somewhat like this. You take the, where was it? Lotus Fan, put it on the second spot, then you take the Healthy Offering and put it on the other spot. As that is a matter of taste. So anyway, then the next skill we use is as the Elusive Mist. And also with this ability you also get Major Mending when you cast it. So I wouldn't cast it more than 6-7 times in a row, but apart from that you should be cool. The next skill is from the Vampire skill line. It's called Elusive Mist. It basically is a snare removal. You'll see me using it quite a lot, especially when on the move. Just because Otherwise, you'll just get stuck so quick. Especially as a healer, you take too much pressure sometimes to use this Psijic bullshit that you can only do that if you're DPS. So yeah, then I use the Dark Cloak. He uses for healing skills offer max health and gives us minor protection. The healing gets too strong in PvP, so yeah. Very nice ability. I like keeping it. It's easy to keep up and the heals are very, very fat. Because in PvP I'm like 30k-ish health, even in light armor. Then the last ability we use is the Spectral Bow. We try and proc it but don't cast it just because if you cast it you'll lose the damage mitigation. The mitigation is 10% damage reduction, which you get from it, which is at 7k resistances effectively. It's like the ghost basically, only that instead of healing you over time, if you use it, you'll get the heal as a burst heal, which is handier at times, admittedly. I don't know why. That's why I actually don't think that the ghost is. It's strong but not OP, just because in most of the classes have the same kind of thing. The one has like the ice cast, the ice armor to give the mana protection. We have this one. So anyway, then as on the back bar, you can. I like using Bolstering Darkness. You can also use the barrier or even a wand if you think that your group needs it. As you can see, because I moved the spec bow to my back bar, my rating went down a bit here, but I changed my skilling setups. But the usual skills are usually in the general place. Anyway. This is my Necromancer now, my favorite healer at the moment. That's because I never thought I'd say this, but the Necromancer healers are actually rocks. as I said, we use the passive. The passive a bit. The reason why the Necromancer heal is quite good is just because you have a passive which increases your healing output when you are under a negative status effect. And you have a lot of very, very handy tools, like, for example, Dead in Pain, you can slot on the flex spot on Y, which basically gives you major protection. If you have like 6 corpses around, that means 12 seconds of major protection. That is absolutely insane. You get good sustain when things die around you. That's why, for example, when you're pushing through a group, I stay on the back bar just to get my sustain back. Then this ability is also very nice, the tether thing. We even have a very good burst heal, Blood Sacrifice. It puts minor defile on us, but that's not a problem since at the moment we get a negative status effect. Our heal is increased by 8%, so basically even if you use it, you basically get only 8% penalty on it overall. The abilities are quite, well, apart from the one thing, but the heal is quite expensive. It's like 3.7k magicka, but that's okay. Rush sustain is pretty good. And yeah. This is the bone, I think. Was that the bone tree? Yeah, this is the sustain passive I was talking about. And it says an enemy in combat, which counts as pets, NPCs, literally everything. That's why this passive is really, really good, especially when your group has good damage output. So yeah, Bone Tyrant's skill line is more like a DPS utility kind of like thing. Living Death. On the flex spot, you can also use a remote totem if you want to. I like using either the grave robber or the radiating regeneration, just because it'll either increase the damage or the healing output. This is basically just a bit of protection and SCC. Usually there's a Nightblade with fear on anyway, so yeah, you shouldn't have a problem there. And yeah, the remote totem only lasts 9 seconds though, but that should be okay because you can cast it into a group which you are trying to hit. I like the Grave Robber synergy just because that's that 9k, especially if you're spec'd for it, it can hit really, really hard. On the front bar, you can also on the front bar instead of the barrier, you can also use the Colossus if you want to increase your group damage a bit and stun a whole lot of people. I personally prefer the barrier because I'm a healer. My job is to keep people alive, not kill people, or even stun people only in emergencies. So yeah, that's why I usually prefer to use barrier. The creative curse. This was the one I was talking about. When you have a negative status effect on you, you get 8% more healing. And yeah, there we are. Then there's a near-death experience. That means that everyone targets are wounded, my abilities will crit more. That's why as soon as somebody's low health, his suddenly see like his health shooting up at once. That's because all my hots and stuff, all of them are critting at once. Really, really nice passive. Actually a very powerful passive, especially in combination with the Khajiit, because Khajiit is 10% more crit heals. Synergizes somewhat well in that case. Then you have the corpse consumption, which increases your sustain a bit, and the other one, I don't know what it does. Anyway, yeah, again, the skilling is illustrious healing. Then I like using radiating regeneration on that slot. And then we have the... Yeah, this is the one where you can also put in Unnerving Boneyard. That's the slot which you can use to basically fiddle around. Then we have the Enduring Undeath. Basically, it's like a Healing Springs, which needs corpses to be cast and lasts a hell of a lot longer the more corpses you have. It can last up to 30 seconds if you have 6 corpses on the ground. It is actually pretty amazing. You'll see me casting it a few times in the video, like when there's like a lot of corpses around, I'll smack it right on top of the corpses. The radius is actually huge. It's like twice the size of Healing Springs, as you can see here. It's literally massive. It's like a gigantic glowing green skull. Takes a bit getting used to, especially when casting it, because what I usually try doing is if I have no corpses around, I recast my ghost and my armor when there's like 4 to 5 seconds left, and then they spawn corpses on the ground, which I can use to cast this ability onto them. But yeah, I can only do that every 10 seconds, so yeah, if I do the ghost and the armor, that's like a 10 seconds, it's basically cutting it fine. That you don't have 100% uptime unless you have corpses coming in. But if you're under pressure, if there is a lot of corpses, a lot of NPCs dying, yeah, that's when this ability really shines. I love it. And anyway, yeah, then Combat Prayer, the Braiding Tether from the healing skill line, and then the Reviving Barrier as usual. Then we have on the back bar, we use the Efficient Purge. Basically, we're not a Templar, we need this to get oil showers of people. Then we use the Blood Sacrifice, which is basically a burst heal. There we are. Braided Tether is in the last skill. Make sure to morph it right. We take the morph, which basically heals everyone between you and the corpse. Really, really nice. Yeah, this Blood Sacrifice is basically a burst heal, and when you have a corpse near you, it's like a Breath of Life, only stronger. In my opinion. It's actually way cheaper, I think, than Breath of Life. Anyway, then we use Mist Form. Then we use the Beckoning Armor. You can use the other morph if you want to have a bit easier time sustaining, but I just prefer this one just because it gets range DDs off me and it chains people inside the group when they try and range focus me out. Then we use the Ghost, which basically is like another... Basically, if there's any low guy around there, the healing takes... I think even PvP, the healing goes up to sometimes to 5k, 6k. So yeah, it's actually insane heals from this ghost. The healing tooltip is like 28k over 16 seconds. It's actually pretty massive. Love this ability. Then of course, the most amazing ability this class has to offer, the Renewing Animation. Actually, that ability has saved me, well, not me, but my buddies quite a few times when you have 2 people down or so, and basically you can just smack a res ult on them. That's also the reason why I like using the Blood Spawn on the Necromancer. It's because it brings our ultimate recovery from ridiculous to stupidly ridiculous from the level wise. So yeah, that's why on the Necromancer you use the Blood Spawn as a monster set. That's my personal recommendation. And yeah, just imagine, for example, I don't know, let's say that pillar over there is our buddy and he has gone down. He's dead and you can't res him. There's some 60k DK tank, they're bashing you out of it, making sure you can't res him. What you do is you basically aim and then pull ultimate. It's like a gigantic shining silver whitish circle. And basically everyone who is basically there gets rezzed, and you get back 5k resources per corpse. That means up to 50, you can get up to 15k magicka, health and stamina at once just by using it. It's a very powerful ability. It's very expensive. That's why you need to have Blood Spawn to get the ultimate for it. So yeah, we're almost at the end of this. The Necromancer takes a bit of getting used to, but do not sniff at the heals of a Necromancer. Necro heals are extremely potent. I was very surprised. I did not expect it myself, but I'm getting into it a bit now, and I'm actually loving it. The heals are ridiculous on the Necromancer. The healing output, you'll see it in the clips coming afterwards. The healing output is actually amazing. Oh yeah, race recommendations would probably be Argonian or Khajiit. I am more of the Khajiit kind of player. I prefer recovery versus potions, but yeah. Anyway, goodbye, and see you in the next clip.
Standing On the edge of the crater, like the prophets once said, and the ashes are all cold now, no more bullets, and the embers are dead. Whispers in the air tell the tales of the brothers gone. Desolation, devastation. What a mess we made when it all went wrong. Watching from the edge of the circus for the games to begin. Gladiators draw their